First off, we're going to start it off with a update on what's happening in Edmonton. And our very own Devin Gray is going to be talking about what's happening in the Edmonton real estate market. So very excited for that. I will leave it off to Devin. Hello, Devin. I see you rocking the St. Paddy's Day theme as well.
Yeah, and just for anybody out there, if you do see the green background, there's a very good chance that that is a Mogul Real Estate agent. So if you're wondering what's going on, I think there's about 7 or 8 of us. But Adrian, I will definitely be asking you to comment on something you referred to earlier today in our sales meeting, just in regards to what's potentially happening down the road here. But I'll get to that when I get to it. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. I just first off want to throw that out. We're definitely in new territory, as last year on March 15th, the world changed, at least in North America. And that was a day I'll definitely never forget, because I still shudder at the thought of my children being home for 5 months from school. I am very happy that this year they're still in school and being very safe. But it's been a full year since we've been in this weird COVID situation. And so we have some unknowns moving forward. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. First off, in keeping with St. Patrick's Day, at least in Alberta and especially in Edmonton, it feels like after watching most of the country having a bit of a real estate party with things getting busy, it feels like Edmonton has definitely been invited to that party. I mean, it's not crazy or insane like it is in BC, which we'll hear about a little bit later, or in Ontario, but certainly in the Edmonton market, things are definitely picking up. There's been no big movements in pricing yet, but it obviously starts with increased activity. The first-time home buyer pricing band of about 250,000 to 400,000 is quite busy. Good properties in good areas are selling fast. I'm definitely hearing of some multiple bid situations and some at list or even over list prices. And it's usually right around this time every spring that we say the spring selling season is officially here. We've probably been in that spring selling season for about 6 weeks now. So again, every Wednesday we have our sales meeting, and we talked about this, that it's really been quite crazy right now. And that, hold on to your hats when it comes to April and May, certainly in the Edmonton area. So let's talk about some stats. These are a couple weeks old. It's, the real estate. Hang on a second. I was going to bring up this stat sheet here so everybody can have a look. So hopefully everybody can see that February residential stats for the city of Edmonton. So you can peruse those while we chat about things here with some stats. Unit sales for the greater Edmonton area, which is now, of course, known as the GEA, increased 52% from February last year and increased about 37% from January last month, 2 months ago now. The number of new residential listings is up year over year, increasing about 7.6% from February last year. For February, single-family home unit sales are up 62% from February 2020 and 40% from January. Overall, residential average prices for the GEA are about $378,000. It's a 7.6% increase from last February and 3.8% from January. Single-family homes sold for about $438,000. A little bit of an increase from last year, 2.7% and 2.4% from January 2021. This is a great indicator. We've definitely been talking about this a lot in the office. Single family homes averaged 48 days on the market. That's a 23% decrease from last February. Condos, which has always been a challenge in the Edmonton market, certainly with the oversupply, they've been averaging 62 days on the market. That's an 11-day decrease year over year. Duplexes are averaging 48 days, a 32-day decrease from February 2020. And overall residential listings are averaging about 52 days on market. So what does all this mean, and why is this happening? The two big things that we're still talking about is cheap money, historical low interest rates is bringing a lot of first-time home buyers into the market. And then from there, obviously, you get a little bit of a ripple effect, opportunities for people that might not necessarily be specifically in that 250 to 400 range. I certainly have had the wonderful opportunity to help some young couples who just were in a little bit better financial state and have been purchasing homes in around the 450, 460 range. So certainly the inexpensive interest rates, the cheap money is a big one. The other one we're talking about a lot is there is a lot more freedom because of COVID to choose where you want to live without being concerned about trying to be closer to work. You know, another example that recently come across is there was a couple that I was chatting with that they'd always wanted to live in Sherwood Park, but both of them live in the West End. So they always felt that they didn't really want that drive. But one of them is now able to work from home all the time. So that was enough to push them to looking at living in Sherwood Park, which they've always wanted to live in, because only one of them had to be concerned about that drive. And that drive is not during rush hour, it's in off-peak hours. So the drive isn't all that bad for them. So those are some of the two big reasons on why we're seeing this increase. And the third one of all is obviously just that we're in the spring selling season. And so that actually is the big question. And I am going to get Adrian to comment here based on some information of somebody he spoke with. And that's just really, is this going to last? Is this the start of a increased real estate activity in the Edmonton area that is going to be sustainable, certainly through all of 2021 and into 2022? Or is it going to be something that starts to fizzle out in July and August like it normally does? My comment has always been that we'll have to wait and see come July and August. But Adrian, you recently were speaking to somebody who has a pretty strong credential and some pretty good insight as to what might possibly happen in Edmonton.
Yeah, 100%. And thank you for that, Devin. It's so, as you know, with realtors, we talk amongst ourselves all the time. We want to be informed and chat with people who are doing the same sort of thing that we do on a day-to-day basis. And one of the other agents I was talking with, he was actually a past chair for the Edmonton Real Estate Board, and now is actually sitting on the Canadian board for all of Canadian real estate. And we were kind of talking about some of the things that have happened, and as Devin presented here, and he's talking about some of the things that we're seeing with days on market and all these trends we're seeing. It seems like since last summer, things have just been growing month over month, which is unbelievable. So one of the big questions people have is this going to be sustained? And our general verdict from the conversation that we had, again, we don't really know. We're going to wait and see. But the big thing is what we talked about was, we think inventory over springtime is going to start hitting the market as we get into the end of May and into April, end of March and into April. And then we're also going to see I definitely see that inventory come a little bit lower. And then we're also going to see some buyers come into to play there. So I think right now we're almost feel like we're in a seller's market, and then we're going to move into more of a balanced market, and things are going to slow down a little bit. But again, we have no idea. This is the first pandemic I've been through, so I can't really look into my crystal ball and see what might happen.
Yeah, it's that's 100%. That is, jokingly, half joking, half serious. When people ask, it's here's our best prognosis, but at the same time, this is all new to everybody. Nobody really knows what's going to go on because of COVID. But anyways, that's the Edmonton update. Adrian, back to you, and thanks for your input.